Today in Afghanistan, this series of killings of civilians that the U.S. has had to apologize for, the person in charge, General David Petraeus, having to issue an apology for the first time a few weeks ago, especially around the killing of children. What's happening?
You know, our people now, they're fed up from listening apologize from the White House, these warmongers in NATO governments, and also the puppet regime, mafia, corrupt regime of Hamid Karzai. We want the end of this brutal war, this disgusting war, this occupation as soon as possible. During these 10 years, tens of thousands innocent civilians has been killed, most of them innocent women, children, and men. And even during these 9 years of their occupation, they used white phosphorus cluster bomb. They are bombing our wedding parties. Maybe you hear, as you earlier mentioned, the report of Spiegel that even they insult with the died bodies of my people, these occupation forces, make fun with these died bodies. And their government, when they kill innocent civilians doing massacres, they pay $2,000, this bloody dollar, to each victim's family. It means that the lives of Afghan is equal to $2,000 for these warmongers, while most time my people reject these monies. Unfortunately, when Obama took office, his first news for my people was more conflict, more war, because he surged more troops in Afghanistan, and the result of this was more miseries, more massacres, more tragedies. And also, when compared with the Bush administration, 24% civilian deaths increased, and many other miseries, violences, they are going on in my country. And for 1,000 times, the recent report proves that today in Afghanistan, especially these 9 years, the killing of my people, for them is like killing the birds. But unfortunately, mainstream media always they slide the truths, and they shamelessly decrease the number of civilian deaths and call them insurgents, terrorists.
You mentioned, you said the die teams, what's called the kill team, the soldiers that are on trial right now in the United States, these photographs that Democracy Now! Has broadcast, these horrendous photographs. And I urge people, I warn you, as we show these photographs, that Der Spiegel showed first, of these so-called kill teams that murdered unarmed Afghan civilians at random and collected body parts as trophies. How much attention is this getting in Afghanistan right now?
These photos not only for Afghans, I believe for millions around the world, as human beings, for justice-loving people around the world, is heartbreaking. And it was not new for our Afghan people, as every day they are bombing, killing civilians under the name of these terrorists, now negotiating with these fascist Taliban, terrorist Taliban, and also Gulbuddin Hekmatyar. These terrorists come in power, the situation will be more bloody, more disaster for my people. That's why every day when they are bombing, when our people know this news, there are many demonstrations in Afghanistan. There are right now two kinds of resistance in my country. One is the reactionary resistance of these terrorist Taliban that always mainstream media, U.S. government try to make a mountain out of a molehill. Another is resistance of ordinary Afghan people, students of the universities, democratic-minded parties that we have. For example, Afghanistan Solidarity Party is a democratic-minded party, secular party that recently they did a demonstration in different parts of Afghanistan, in Mazar Sharif, in Kabul, in Jalalabad, in Herat, in Farah province. Hundreds of people joined their demonstration with banners, the U.S. out of Afghanistan, and against their brutalities with the pictures of the victim civilians. But nobody listened their voice, even not only the media in Afghanistan, which is not free and never this mafia media give report, also the mainstream media never give report the resistance of these people to justice-loving people around the world. They are the ones who should be supported through these democratic-minded parties, intellectuals, activists that we have in Afghanistan. Still, they are underground, but they never sit silent, do struggle. Let's support them as much as you can and put pressure on your government that stop this wrongdoing, this war crime under the name of democracy and women's rights.
Can you talk about who exactly the U.S. is working with and negotiating right now with in Afghanistan? With all that is happening in Libya and the Middle East, it seems that Afghanistan, coverage of Afghanistan, has even fallen farther off the radar, if that's possible. Astounding that the U.S. is conducting such a war and there's so little coverage of it in Afghanistan.
They want to negotiate with Taliban and also Gulbuddin Hekmatyar, one bunch of terrorists like Northern Alliance who are mentally same like Taliban, only physically has been changed after 9/11. These warlords, their background, you can see on Human Rights Watch website. Many books has been written about them, like Eyes for Infidel, Ghost for Bleeding Afghanistan, like Devil's Game book. If you read, it will help you to know better about these warlords who committed crimes against my people, the civil war from 92 to 96, before domination of the Taliban. But after 9/11, they imposed on my people with the mask of democracy. That's why Afghanistan day by day goes from the situation goes from worse to worse. And U.S. and NATO, especially U.S. government, supported these fundamentalists since Cold War, and still don't want to lose them. And now these bunch of terrorists that these 10 years they become powerful with suit and tie, with bloody hands. They invite another bunch of terrorists like Taliban and Gulbuddin Hekmatyar that the U.S. government in the past put his name in the blacklist as a wanted criminal. But to say apologize to my people, these terrorists, invite them to join this mafia corrupt regime. Mullah Omar is not moderate. That your government, I mean U.S. government says to justice-loving people of the U.S. around the world, we are negotiating with moderate Talib. We have no moderate Talib. How do they recognize that one? This terrorist is moderate, another one is not moderate. And Mullah Omar is a terrorist. Our people wish all of these bunch of killers like Sayyaf, Rabbani, Kanuni, Mahakek, Dostam, Khalili, Ismail Khan, Gulabzui, Ulumi, many other killers who also right now already they are in power and have high posts in Karzai's regime. They should be brought to the National International Criminal Court for the war crimes that they committed, for all of these brutalities. Now, this 10 years, they changed my country to the center of the drugs. Since 2001 until now, 4,400% opium increased in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is now the second most corrupt country in the world. $30 billion the government of Karzai received from the so-called international community. But there my people even don't have enough food to eat. More than 80% people are now jobless in Afghanistan and suffer from many other measures. It seems that shedding the blood of innocent people in Iraq and Afghanistan was not enough for U.S. government, that now under the shadow or umbrella of UN now invade Libya as well, under the beautiful banner of women's rights, human rights. And again, my message to justice-loving people of U.S. around the world is that please raise your voice against this wrong policy. When you see that while Obama's administration raised hue and cry against Gaddafi regime and its crimes, but in the meantime supporting the dirtiest, much more dirty Gaddafi regime in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Israel, in Saudi Arabia, and many other countries.
We just have 30 seconds, Malalai Joya. The withdrawal beginning in July, do you believe this will be happening? And what would it mean if U.S. troops left?
It is just big lies. From one hand, U.S. and NATO, they they fool not only Afghan people, their own people too, by telling we will leave by mid of 2011. But from another side, a U.S. puppet regime, Karzai's regime, is talking about permanent U.S. military bases in my country, which is clear they will not leave my country soon. They are there because of their own strategic, regional, and economic interests. We want the withdrawal of the troops because their presence, they double our miseries, create more obstacles, problems for the justice-loving, democratic-minded parties that we have, intellectuals, innocent people of my country. Day by day getting powerful, eliminate them. So we squashed between three powerful enemies: warlords, Taliban, occupation forces. With the withdrawal of occupation forces, we will fight two internal enemies. If the occupation forces leave, stop arming the warlords and Taliban, the backbone of these criminals trust will break. And of course, fight against Taliban and warlords not easy. But the hopeful point is that, positive point is that my people hate the Taliban and also the warlords. If US and NATO let us a little bit breathe in peace, then we know what to do with our destiny. They are telling you that civil war will happen if we leave Afghanistan, but nobody is talking about today's civil war. As long as these occupation forces will be there, the worst civil war will be. Democracy never came by military invasion. Democracy never came by bombing, killing innocent civilians, by cluster bomb or white phosphorus. Anyway, we fed up from this occupation. Now my message of my people is this: we don't want anything good from you, just to stop wrongdoing, just to stop these massacres, just to stop support of these criminals, these terrorists. And in the meantime, I am asking for the solidarity and support of justice-loving people around the world, their moral support, educational support, because it's the key toward emancipation.
Malalai Joya, I want to thank you for being with us. Former member of the Afghan parliament, has survived numerous assassination attempts. Her book is called A Woman Among Warlords. Malalai Joya was named by Time magazine one of the 100 most influential people in the world. This is Democracy Now!